Oh,
Hey.
hello, Jeremy.
What is going on, Michael Carmody?
So I got a new look. Trying to figure this thing out. I got a new look because I'm on my iPad instead of my computer, and all of a sudden my computer just loaded up. So I may, at some point here in just a moment, hit the eject button and then come back on. So we'll see what happens. But can you hear
What
me?
hap-
Okay.
Yeah, what happens if you pull up both at the same time? Can we get two views of Mike?
Oh, dude, you just fogged.
guys, from green to clean. What is going on, Mister? What's up, Scott? Illcast Games. Hey, today was a good day. I didn't have any breakdowns. Yeah, let's go. Nothing.
That's always good.
Yeah, I know, man. I feel like I was in a season of breakdowns for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
One thing after another thing after another thing. So that was that.
So yeah, how cool is that?
I think it's
Yeah.
because you got two audios.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm out. Okay, so I'll just pull this back up here.
Okay,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, guys, I'm going to be looking down for a minute, trying to get this shared out into the groups.
Well, while you're doing that, let me share my shirt. You like that? What does it look like on your screen there? Does it say
Cincinnati something college?
embalming college?
I thought it said infidel. I didn't know.
Embalming. One of my
Embalming.
customers today was retired embalmer in Cincinnati, and he said, "Hey, I got something for you." I think he thought I would like it. So the thing was, I'm spraying his house, and he comes around the corner with the shirt, and I don't know how it didn't get bleach all over it, but it didn't. So maybe it's got embalming fluid on it or something.
It
But
could
yeah,
be.
so I love the shirt.
Well,
It's a little
maybe,
bit on the large
maybe
side, but I like it.
you might grow into it one day.
All right, from green to clean, Mister Power Washing. I am reading this a little bit different on my iPad here. So Illcast Gaines, Tony Terry or Scott Terry rather is with us. Hey man, Roger the Tinker, all faithfuls. We got some faithfuls tonight. Very very grateful for that.
Yes,
We have an
absolutely.
interesting topic tonight, as you can probably see it there on the screen. How to handle customer conflicts. And there you go. I'm gonna go on record,
Better.
Jeremy. I believe that we could do a whole series of videos on this topic right here: how to handle customer conflict. What
Never
say you?
ending customer conflict.
Never
I
ending.
agree. I agree. Hey, I got something for you tonight. I got you a WWMD.
Well, that's cool because I don't have a WWJD, so your timing is perfect. Let's see who else we
Yeah.
got. Bubba Bubbles pressure washing. I'm over here
Yeah.
trying to Brandon. Good to see Brandon. Scott
Brandon's my
Trey.
dude. Brandon's my dude. Yeah. Tell the Karens to kick it. For
I had a
sure.
Karen today. Her name was Karen, and I wanted to ask her if she was, because she was real bubbly, and I was like, "Are you compensating here for having a name like Karen?" But I didn't.
You should have.
Charles Henry, good to see you, my
The,
friend.
the man with two first names. I have three first names.
Three.
Yeah. Yeah. Just getting this shared up, share it out. Maybe one of these days I'll get my YouTube live access back, Mike.
Yeah, that's a killer to the totals.
Yeah. It's
Killer to the totals.
it sucks. I thought I had it
Oh,
approved, and then they re-declined it.
redeclined it.
They said
Declining it.
after further investigation or after further whatever, whatever you want to call it. Really wasn't an investigation, but whatever the word is, I can't figure it out. But yeah.
Well, you know that there's nobody really there. That's just an algorithm. They're just, it's all screwed up.
It had a name. It was fake name. What's up, Wild West? What's up, Tommy? Raymond? Yeah. Hey, Roger, you know what you said, buddy? That's dead on. Let me throw that up there. That is dead on. Just be truthful. Just tell them, hey, this happened. Be honest with them.
Well, I want to say I agree with that. I will also say that based upon that answer there, throw that back up there if you would. I can do it. Roger. I got it right there. I will say, Roger, I agree with that 100%. Based upon your comment, it seems like that comment is coming from the idea that the conflict is some sort of problem, like soapy windows or runny paint or something, And you're right. Yeah, you just have to own it. Not all conflict is necessarily a problem. Sometimes it's a problem customer. And I've had problem customers recently. I mean, and I don't mean to be a narcissist. Like, I'm not saying it's everybody else's fault. I'm just saying legitimately, I mean it sincerely. It's like I can tell when I answer the phone that these are not the people I really, really want to work with. And I end up working with them, and it's a problem from the get-go. And they might say the same thing about me. I don't know. But I think you're right. Just being honest in particular, or especially when there's a problem, that's the best way. There's Mr. Gabriel in the house.
What's up, Gabriel? Hey, Gabriel, you still on here? Drop me because we need to touch base about a future date by chance.
And there's Austin Pruitt. It's going good, man. It's going good. How are you doing?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, let's not discount what he's saying right there, Mr. Power washing. I definitely want to come back to that. So it seems like, Jeremy, that there's just a spirit of complaint in the air, and I want to address that. But you tell me that you have a what would Mike do? A WWMD.
Yeah. All right, Mike. Let's give the story. All right, stay with me for like 3 minutes. Okay. So as you know, I've been running Facebook ads, so I get a lot of things coming in for leads and this and that. So I've been trying to do in-person estimates. Anyways, skip forward. This woman messaged me for a house wash quote. I sent the estimate. It was very cookie cutter, 1,800 square foot house, vinyl siding. They wanted it washed. I'm like 3 counties over from where I was to even do it. So I was like, okay, this is very simple. Your house would fall into I told her on the phone. We discussed this on the phone while I was at a soccer game. I said, your house would fall into our standard house wash price of $375. She said, oh, okay. I said, I will send you over an actual estimate here in a little bit. So I sent over the estimate. She looked at it. Well, this was on April 23rd, and I hadn't heard anything back from her. So I have a list of leads at it this morning is what was wild about this whole situation. I was like, oh, I need to follow up with this woman. I've just been so busy trying to do these other things. So I don't get rid of them until I've talked to them like 3 times and get like a no, or we had someone else wash it. Like, I'm going to follow up with you.
Nice.
It just kind of sucks that it's been like 3 weeks. And that's my problem. So I'm washing the first house. I'm out without service. I'm driving to town to go to my second house wash. She calls me. She said, is this Jeremy? I said, yes. She said, well, I think I spoke with you like a week to 2 weeks ago, you gave me an estimate. I said, yes, I remember your name from the caller ID. I said, I sent that to you. I was pulling up Mark 8. She said, you said it was 375. I pulled it up. It was for 375. She said, well, she said, I had deleted the text with the estimate, and I couldn't remember, your business name. She said, I just remember that it was Kentucky and that you was from Corbin. She said, so last week I reached out to another company that had the name Kentucky in there, thinking that it was you. She said, I called them. She said, I spoke to him on the phone. She said, I said, hey, we talked about a couple of weeks ago. You said that, my house wash price was going to be $375. They said, yes, we spoke with you. Yes, $375. And they got her scheduled for today. They're supposed to be there today at 4:00.
Mm.
She then calls me so she's telling me this. And she said, the more I thought about it, she said, I remember that you were from Corbin. She said, this company's from another county.
Mm.
And I said, huh. She said, now I'm really mad because they lied to me. She said, because I've not called anyone else and asked for an actual quote besides you in the meantime. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
She said, but they had told me that they spoke with me and they did not. She's like, what should I do? And I just said, well, I said, first off, that's very unethical as a business owner. I said, that's not a good business owner practice. I said, they lied to you blatantly, right on the phone. I'm not going to tell you what to do. She said, well, they're supposed to be here at 4:00 to wash my house. And I said, I understand. Oh, Elijah, yeah, you do know where this is going because I was messaging you. So here's the story. I was going to text you, but you're just catching it up. No, it's not Elijah. But he knows. So, anyways, she said, how soon could you do it? I said, well, oddly enough, I'm supposed to be in Laurel County to wash a house this evening. I said, the owner had a illness in the family at the hospital. They needed to reschedule. I said, my evening's open. I said, if you'd like, I'll come do it as soon as I finish this one. She said, yeah, I'm going to call and cancel that one because they lied to me. So, as my question to you, Mike, is what would you do? Would you reach out to this newer company? Would you, I don't want to say confront them. Would you message them? Would you try to take a education point to collaborate, or is this a lost cause? What would Mike do in this situation that I was in today? I mean, I did go wash the house, and I did get a 5-star review.
Oh, well.
And she said, we'll have you out next year too.
Well, it does sound like everything worked in your favor, and you've got a lifelong customer. We call that lifetime customer value. So she's not going anywhere ever. In fact, she's probably going to recommend you to all of her friends. You obviously did a good job. She gave you a 5-star Google review. I think from your end, if it were me, so I'll speak from first person here. If it were on my end, I'd probably wash my hands of the situation that's between her and this other company. But I would certainly keep my ear to the ground when I hear that other company's name being mentioned, and because if they're willing to do that, then they will stop at nothing. They're the ones who will rip up your yard signs and slash the tires of your business, so to speak. But I think you handled it well. I think what I would have done would have been the same thing. I would have probably said, ma'am, I trust you to do whatever you feel like, is best. I can be there at this time and I promise to do you a good job, but I trust you to do what is best. Now, so here's my question. If I miss this, forgive me. Did she ever call them and cancel her appointment with them?
She did.
Oh yeah,
She did.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not
I
sure
think I
what.
would have handled it
I'm not
just the
sure.
same
I'm
way
not sure
she
how
did.
that conversation went. She didn't share that with
Right.
me. I just said, did you cancel? She said, yeah, I called them. So,
Well,
needless to
I
say,
had a similar.
this is like, I seen Austin's comment. He said he knows who this is. I they're like 2 counties away from me. Like it's not someone even like remotely local. Well, I wouldn't call it local. They're very local to Elijah. I know that much. So
Hmm.
similar something going on there too. So, but anyways, it just didn't sit well with me.
Yeah, I had a similar situation several years ago. It played out differently. If you're interested in hearing it, and I honestly had forgotten all about it until you mentioned it. But maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I got a call from a woman in my town of Trenton. I
Yeah.
scheduled with her, but she couldn't remember what the schedule was. This was before I had Marquette, by the way. This was at least 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. She then calls, what's that service? Like an Angie's List, but what's the other one?
Next
They're all
door,
the time. No, they're all the time
thumbtack.
hitting me close. They're all the time hitting me up to come on board with them. I get their call from Chicago all the time. Anyways, they
Somebody drop it in the comments.
yeah, it's not Thumbtack. It's not Angie's List. What's the other one? They call me all the time wanting me to sign up with them, and they give you leads. It's a lead generator.
Home advisor.
Yelp, 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 Yelp.
There's the MVP.
So in the interim, she calls Yelp and sets up an appointment and actually sold the job twice for the for the same day and the same time. I show up first. True
Yeah.
story. I show up first, and then she tells me, she says, "I don't think you're the one that I signed or that I hired." I said, "No, I am. I have our conversation right here." And she said, "I have somebody else coming as well." And I kid you not, Jeremy, when I finished, God's honest truth, when I'm telling you, right, God's honest truth, as if there is any other truth. She she hands me the check, and as she hands me the check, we're both holding the check like this, right?
Yeah.
And that other company pulls up very slowly and drives in front of the house, and I just turned around and did like this, and they waved. I have no idea who they were or what happened, but they just
Oh.
kept on going. So I felt terrible about it. I felt terrible about it, but
Yeah.
it's just I won for once. I won.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I think you handled it well. That's
Yeah.
what I did. Was like,
Oh. Oh.
okay, so let's get into this customer conflict and how to handle customer conflict. And remember, not everything is your fault. And if it is your fault, then you have to own that. And one of the key phrases that I use a lot is, don't ruin a good apology with a terrible excuse. Sometimes it's the excuse that gets you into trouble. Sometimes you just have to apologize. But I want to share a real quick story with you. This happened to me literally just today. But we're going to back up a whole last Friday. Last Friday class, I was scheduled to wash a house for a woman by the name of Melissa. It was one of 5 washes on the day. She was my first wash. So I was en route to wash for Melissa. Now remember that. And her name is Melissa, and that's key. So I'm en route to wash for Melissa, and I get a text from Melissa, but not the same Melissa, a different Melissa that I have scheduled, which is actually just happens to be tomorrow. And this Melissa says, "Hey, Mike, I'm sorry. I need to reschedule." And I was like, "Okay, not a problem." I think I am. Let me see if I'm hooked up to Wi-Fi here. Can you hear me and see me okay?
Yeah, we say it's just you look grainy.
Look like a granny? Is that what you said? Now I'm
You
on
could
my
look like a
Wi-Fi.
granny. Okay,
So
maybe it's me.
so so Melissa texts me and says I need to reschedule. The mulch guys are coming, and I need to reschedule. I thought it was the Melissa that I was en route to wash. So I just responded and said, not a problem in the least. Good timing. I mean, at least I wasn't already there. Turns out I did not have the right Melissa. So now we fast forward from Friday to today. And she texts me and she says, Mike, I had you scheduled to wash on Friday and you didn't show up. And I'm looking at my text. I'm like, I know she texted me and told me not to show up. Well, it was a Melissa, but it was a different Melissa. So I'm left to ask myself, should I even tell her? Should I even give this as an excuse? Because this is so unbelievable that I don't think that she will believe me. Well, she didn't like it. I did explain it to her. She didn't like. I even sent her the screenshots of the conversation that I had with the other Melissa. And as of right now at 9:23, she has yet to reschedule, and she's very upset with me. I can tell in her text she's very upset with me. So this is a good foundation, maybe, to segue into how to handle customer conflict. And I will tell you, there's no right way to do it other than as Roger the Tinker said earlier. You got to just be honest with them and just lay it out there and let the cards fall where they may. I suppose. What say you, Jeremy?
What would I do in that situation?
Yeah, what would you do?
I mean, I probably would have just explained it just like what you did. I mean, was this all conversation via text or was this any phone conversation?
All text.
Yeah, so I would have had a phone conversation. I would have just called, and be like, and I would have tried to like laugh about it, like, sorry, it was my fault.
Right.
I don't know. I would have tried to bring some sort of ground icebreaker onto that because I get it, and then I'm like, well, I can get you this day if that works for you. Like, I'm sorry. Well, let me discount that just a little bit. How about a $50 discount or something for, my stupidity.
Mike needs better lighting. I probably do. And again, I apologize. I'm on my iPad. I'll tell you what I'm going to do real quick, Jeremy. Take over. I'm going to hit the eject button and I'm going to come back in on my computer.
So is it not letting? Can you leave that up while you get it on your computer?
It's possible. They're right
Possible.
there. It's possible.
Mike's got glow in the dark stars on his ceiling. In case
Yes,
you guys
I do.
He sleeps in the hammock and thinks about washing all night and every day. Washing
There's
under
truth to this. Truth to this.
Yeah, so I'm a very big on your mistakes. I don't know. I shouldn't say like I don't know, but more times than not, or not more times than not, probably not the right word, but I have like slipped and forgot I got a lead. I forgot to call the lead, or I've messed up the schedule and had it on the wrong day via the conversation. So it's happened. Yeah, I got some sort of cheap webcam here there, Austin. It's the same one. I think Mike's got the same one. It's not a cheap webcam, but it's a webcam. One day we'll upgrade, but just kind of got to own it. Try to bring a little humor into it. At least that's my experience. What about you guys? I always find trying to smooth things over for me goes better in person or on the phone. I don't do a whole lot of text with the customer unless they initiate the conversation via text. So Mike looks like he's having a little technical difficulties. I think this thing's called a Razor. It's got a name on it. It's a full HD, 60 frames a second. Cairo Razor, maybe. I'm not sure. That's the webcam. But I think there's a big difference. Cam looks fine. Oh, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. I just feel like I just dropped out of the frame.
I'm not sure why. Can you hear me?
I can see. Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect.
I'm not sure why I'm not coming on the camera here.
Are you hooked up to your computer?
Yep.
Did you have to restart it? Hey, I've had that same thing happen. Forgetting to do an estimate call. Everything is good, and I happen that this happens sometimes to me because being solo with the leads that's been coming in via Facebook and the natural organic leads coming in from Google and websites and stuff like that. It's kind of a lot to process. Like this would be really handy and nice to have like a VA or have like an office manager to funnel that to keep you a list. Because as my wife knows, I am not very good with organization and list and stuff, and I've been trying to do better, but man, it's just not who I am. It's just not in my forte. I'm just not a list guy. Like, give me a list, that's cool, but me sitting down and making the list is not ever happening. So it looks like he's trying to come back in. Mikey.
Are we there?
Yeah.
I apologize, guys. I certainly do apologize. I hope there's no conflict. Hope there's no conflict here. And you're right. I do need better lighting.
I have to get you a new computer.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with that as well.
Donate to Mike's cause. Donate to the Venmo or Cash App at the bottom.
Sean Holderman's right. Virtual assistants are clutch. I don't have one, but I do not disagree with that in the least.
Yeah, it is, man. And every year I just keep getting busier. I guess that's the thing with growth and growing and marketing. And it's like, I'm not that guy. Just let me wash, let me sell. Someone take everything and organize it. Like, I wish someone would set up my schedule of where I'm supposed to be and what time and that location. Like, that'd be great.
I'm different, Jeremy. I really like the admin stuff. Maybe we should start our own company together, and you can go wash, and I can do the admin stuff. I don't know. I will say that it just seems like lately, and this is more the Bible approach. If you're in the Bible space at all, then you'll understand this. It seems like there's a spirit of complaint lately. And I have literally out loud, I've been, again, more Bible terminology here. I've been rebuking the spirit of complaint, the spirit of criticism, and this spirit of dispute. It's like, for some reason here lately, there have just been a lot of people who have just had this spirit of complaint. It's like you are not going to please them regardless. And I'm not bashful in saying sometimes it's my fault, but there have been a number of times lately where that I've had to have I had to have a conversation recently with a customer in his yard to tell him that I'm not dealing with him anymore. Like, this has gone as far as it can go. If you're not happy, then we're just going to have to sever ties. And it ended fine. And he even tried to give me money. I've had that happen twice lately, where that I've had to have conversations with customers who were belittling and they were derogatory to me. And guys, most of you know, heck, I'll travel across the country to wash your dog. I'll do anything for anybody. And some people just cannot be pleased. And then at the end, try to give me extra money, like they're going to buy me. And both times I said, absolutely not. I don't want your money. But I have put two customers on the blacklist in the last 2 weeks because of just belittling me, like literally in their yard belittling me. And I could go into the details of it, but there's a spirit of complaint, and I'm rebuking it in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jeremy, I am rebuking it.
Yeah. I don't think I've had any. I don't guess I've had any real bad Karens lately. I don't think so. I feel like I shared something with you, and now I'm drawing a blank on it. I mean, we were having a conversation. I don't know. I always find, and maybe there's no truth to this. Maybe there is some truth to this. Seems like there is in my head. I always have the most conflict with the lower price tickets. Could that be some truth to that? But it's like, you go out and you do the, $2,500, $5,000 monster residential job, where odds are you may have missed something because it's so big. And they're ecstatic. They're happy. They're tickled to death. But you watch the 1,200 square foot vinyl siding house, and the gutter looks horrible because it ain't been cleaned in 6 years, and the lichen is eating the paint off, and then they're wanting to know, why's my gutter look like that? Why didn't you clean it? What'd you do to it?
Yeah.
At least that's been my experience.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. That wasn't the case in the two situations that come to my mind very, very quickly. And I think that more often than not, it is the lower tickets. Maybe some people who can finally afford to have a luxury service, and they're already hesitant to spend the money because they finally got the money, and they've never been able to afford it. And now that they can't afford it, they really want to strut their stuff. I don't know, but I'll give you one in particular, just to kind of maybe build some context. So I show up to wash a wooden fence. What was it? Last week, 2 weeks ago. And I mean, from the get-go, we can actually go back to when he was scheduling it, and he was very demanding that I be there at a certain time, so forth and so on. And because it worked out in my schedule, I was there on time. But I pull up to the house, I get out of my truck, he walks out the door, and he says, well, you did show up on time. Like he was already expecting that I wasn't going to show up on time. And then he goes around. Now, it's just a fence that he's going to have painted or a solid stain. And by the way, he had the fence already washed last year. So I show up, and I'll be honest with you guys, there was almost nothing to do to this fence to wash it. And it was a good ticket. So I explained my process. He questioned me from the get-go. He questioned every little detail. It's just a fence wash. And I explained my process. I told him that I'd be putting some algicide, as you and I know, as SH, and I would be washing that off. And he said, so shouldn't you let that SH, well, he didn't say SH, but algicide sit there for longer than a few minutes? And I said, no, sir. You don't want it to sit there longer than a few minutes because it'll cause the grain to rise. I explained that to him. He just shook his head. He said, I don't know. And it got on my nerves so bad. I wanted to say, you need to come out of retirement and go back to doing whatever it is that you did for a living, because you would freak out if I showed up on your job site and told you how to do your job. I was so angry with this man, but by the grace of God, I just kept my composure the whole time. He goes in and then he comes back out, and he began questioning me some more. So I washed the entire fence. It took me about an hour. And guys, it looked great. I'm just telling you that it looked great. And he said, my wife noticed something from the inside. And basically, he was blaming it on his wife when it was him the whole time. He said, my eagle eye wife, she spotted something. And he pointed out something on the fence that I couldn't see. I mean it when I say I could not see it. And then he pointed, so I got all my equipment back out. I had already put everything up. I get all my equipment back out. And as I'm getting my equipment out, he points out something else. And he said, here's something else I wanted to draw your attention to. And I said, how about I just wash the whole fence again? And yes, I was being stubborn. Yes, I'll give that to you. I said, how about I wash the whole fence again, sir? And then I know that I will have covered everything. He said, well, that sounds like a good idea to me, young man. And he was like being a grandfather drill sergeant. And so I began to wash. He stops me and he said, let me ask you a question, Mike. He said, did it surprise you that you missed those spots? I said, I don't, I said, I guess, yes. He said, perhaps you were just lacking focus. And I said, no, I don't think that was it at all. And he said, well, perhaps you had your mind on your next customer. I said, sir, I don't know. I'm just washing your fence. And I said, listen, this is what I told him after several back and forths of him stopping me to complain about my work on this fence that he's going to paint. I said, sir, listen, I said, before we go any further, I'm just going to tell you, I said, I am not a perfectionist. I said, I do operate with a spirit of excellence. I said, everything I do with a spirit of excellence. And I said, and I don't do it for you, and I don't do it for me. I said, but I operate and I work unto God. I said, I do everything unto God. And I said, and even with that, I still make mistakes. Ooh. And he just looked at me and he said, well, you know, like old Forrest Gump says, we're going to have these days, something like that. And he totally misquoted Forrest Gump. And I said, well, sir, I don't get my philosophies from Forrest Gump, but if you're satisfied with that, I'm satisfied. And I continued washing. He came back out with at least 2 more complaints. And when I got done, he tried to give me $20 extra. And I said, absolutely not. I will not take your money. I took the money that he originally owed me. But that isn't even the weirdest situation that I've had recently that I won't go into for the sake of time. But I said all of that to say, and I know that I'm rambling and I do apologize. I said all of that to say that sometimes the customer isn't right, but you still have to conduct yourself in a way that glorifies God, in a way that makes you the bigger man. Regardless, even if you have to blacklist them later, you've got to finish the job. And if you have mistakes, you own up to them. But in this case, it was the customer who was the problem. But at the end, as far as he was concerned, all was well and all ends well. But sometimes we have those days, says Forrest Gump.
Sometimes we do.
I'm sorry I rambled on that one. I kind of vented, I think.
I think you vent, and I think it's okay to vent. I mean, sometimes we got to. It's part of it, man. We get aggravated, and we just need someone to talk to. And you're right here. You have a lot of people to talk to.
Well, here's a comment from Green to Clean. Sometimes you just have to snap back. You want to. Sometimes you want to. That's true.
That's very true.
I don't know that I've ever walked off a job, but I have had some jobs where I wanted to just walk away and not take the money and just say, screw it, I'm done. But to date, I have not done that I can remember.
Right. You know, sometimes I won't say sometimes. I think most of the time, 90% of the time, it's better just to. I'm not a conflict kind of person. At least what I say. I don't know what Amanda would say if she's commenting on this, but anyways, I don't. I just assume to shut up. You know, and we're not doing business again anymore. So, yeah, Roger, you're right. You're 100% right on that one. Yeah. Trying to catch up with some comments.
Here's a question. Hey guys, can I install a downstream injector after permanently attached injector? Well, hold on a second. Can I install a downstream injector after a permanently attached injector to the pump?
So, do you know what he's talking about? I do.
No, I don't know.
So he's probably got a Lowe's, Home Depot.
I see.
Style. He's got a direct drive pump with a fixed unloader and an injector. So yes, all you need to do is take the hose barb off. I want to think it's an 1/8 inch cap plug. It's a quarter or an eighth. I can't remember. Cap it and then put you an injector right past that. That's all you got to do. And boom, you're slinging sauce, baby. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Dwayne, I agree. I want to add something to that, and something that I would encourage everyone to do is never do anything without validating the price, confirming the price. So, for instance, you get to the job, and we'll just, for round numbers, say it's a $500 house wash, and then Nancy asks you to wash the patio. Now, sometimes you do those things for free, but in this case, you're not going to do it for free. Don't just assume that $50 is going to play out well. Make sure that you validate the price, confirm the price with the homeowner before you do anything, because that happened to me recently, where the person asked me to wash several items, in fact, and then when we got done, they said, how much do I owe you? And I gave them the price, and they did not like it. They did not like it at all. And we had a little bit of a conflict there. In the church world, we call it aggressive fellowship. Aggressive fellowship. And that didn't end well either. The person ended up not wanting to pay at all for the upsell. And but so always confirm the price on these upsells or these extras, because if you don't, they may come back and say that's not fair, or you may have a problem with that. So
they may say it's not fair, but it's fair, by golly.
It's fair. That's right.
It's fair.
That's exactly right, Dwayne. You have to confirm the price.
Yeah. I don't know that I've
When
ran
they,
into that situation before.
do you always, like, if they ask you, you know, would you care to wash the bird bath, or, you know, whatever, the shed? That's a good one. They always ask, can you wash the shed as well? Do
Yeah.
you automatically right then say, I can do that for you? It'll be $25 or $50 or whatever.
My shed's usually 100.
Well, yeah, exactly. Sure,
No,
whatever.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I always say, well, yeah, I'll look at it and I'll let you know how much it'd be.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I make it very clear a house wash is the house. It ain't
That's
no
right.
porches. It ain't no steps. It ain't no sidewalks. It's your walls. That's all you're getting out of me. Gutters, soffit, walls. Some would even argue about the gutters, but I mean, I ain't brushing them. But, you know, if, you know, and I'm pretty fair, if it's a small, if I will rinse the porch off, but I'm not surface cleaning the porch if it's concrete. It gets rinsed off. If they have a little bit of railing and it's nothing crazy, I'm just going to spray it off because I'm spraying chemical. It's going to get overspray on it anyways. But you know,
Okay.
if it's wood, that is not in it.
That's right. You know, I can
If
understand
it's
that. If it,
plastic vinyl railing, sure.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. So that being said, revisiting that situation, she comes out and says, will you clean the porch in addition to washing the house? And she understands that it's a separate ticket. Do you give her the price right then, or do you give it to her afterwards? What would that look like?
Right then.
Yeah.
Right then, when they ask me, and if I'm there looking at it, or even if they come and ask me while I'm washing, I will stop and go over and be like, hey, yeah, you know, another 25, you know, 50, 100, whatever it is, just I'll just tell them the price.
So I've got one for you. So this happened just today. Gentleman called up probably I don't know, 3 weeks ago when we scheduled, and I mean, guys, the tiniest little house that you've ever seen. It was one of those Gucci Gucci goo kind of cute little houses, and I mean, it was. I'll tell you how small it was. I parked in front of the house, and I pulled 150 feet out of the 150 feet of pressure hose off the reel, and I got all the way around the house and back to the truck. That's how small this house was. And on the phone, I told him, "How about $300?" I just didn't want to take a lot of money from the man, and he said out loud, "How about $400?" And I said, "What's your money?" I said, "Yeah, that sounds good to me." So I get there today and I get out of my truck. I'm talking to him on the front porch. And he said, "By the way, how much for that little sidewalk area right there?" And I said, "How does $25 sound?" And you know what he said to me, Jeremy? He says, "How about $100?"
Okay.
My mind's blown. I made $500 off this little job. And like, some people don't want to pay anything. And then
Yep.
this guy couldn't wait to give me as much money as he had. It
Yeah.
just, I can't figure people out. I'm trying, but I just can't.
It's just different beliefs, man. I mean, I've experienced that. I'm sure we've all probably experienced something of similar, you know, when you get the person who appears not to have much, and I'm not you know, I'm not saying to judge the
Sure.
person, but you know, uh, but sometimes the ones who appear not to have much have more than most. You know, whether that be, you know, in the spirit of giving or excellence or attitude or
Right.
just valuing your service. Um, Thankful for the service that you're providing. So I have learned that.
Mike said, he said, since he offered an extra $100 on the house, I would have done the sidewalk for free. You know, you're 100% correct. And it wasn't until, Mike, and I mean this sincerely, it wasn't until he said, how about $100 for that sidewalk that I remembered that he was the guy who offered me $400. Because the whole time I'm washing the house, I'm thinking to myself, why did I charge so much for this house? Because I had it on my ticket as $400. I'm like, I cannot believe. I almost felt bad, like I must have had a stroke or something. Yes, that's exactly right, Charles. I showed him my leg. By the way, he's the guy who gave me this shirt. He's the guy who gave me this shirt. So he was retired embalmer. True story. So
if you would have showed him your other leg, you might got another 100 out of him.
Woo! I need to work on that. I can't think quick enough. I'm not quick on the fly like that. Elijah hit the nail on the head. He said it seems to me that small house people aren't house poor. You could be 100% correct.
Yeah, it's funny though. And I'm thinking about it. He gave you an embalming shirt, and I guess he's got all that dead money laying around, so he's handing it out.
Oh, that's great. All right, Zach John says, have y'all ever tried to do a week discount for certain neighborhoods? Oh, I like that. He said, I recently done it for 2 in my area and offered 10% off if they book in May, and I've got 3 jobs off of it so far. Jeremy, it's a great question for you because you've offered these deals up to a certain time, like if they schedule by April, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't disclose my information to Zach. I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. No, I mean, I did. I ran a text blast with that. It wasn't necessarily for a certain neighborhood, but I think that's probably a thing. I think that probably would work. I know other guys do that, discounts, or a lot of people will say, how is that they say that? If if we'll book your house wash job or whatever, or if you get, if you can get any of your neighbors to schedule with us while we're there, we'll give you like $25 off per neighbor that signs up. And sometimes, or it's kind of like having a punch card or something like that. Hey, if you bring us in, if you give us 10 referrals, 10 paid referrals, people are 10 paying customers, your next house wash is free.
Right.
Right. I do know of people who run those kind of deals. And it's almost a referral program is pretty much what that is. But I think there's some good chance. I just need to know what neighborhoods you're in, Zach, so I can get in there with you and run some discounts.
So what I do with that, if anyone's interested, I can't imagine anybody would be, is if someone, I will have that happen from time to time where someone will call and they'll say, hey, how much to wash my house? I give them the price. And then they say, well, my neighbor may be interested as well. Would there be a discount? And I do $25 per house. So their house is $25 off and the neighbor's house is $25 off. Yeah. And if they get any additional, I don't knock any more off either of those houses, but the next one would be 25. So everybody basically gets $25 off. And if that sounds like a lot of money, because that's $50 right off your ticket right there. The way I look at it is it's like washing one big house instead of 2 houses. I just look at it like that. Washing one big house.
You're not moving. If you are moving, you're not moving far.
Right, not moving far.
Some of these places you're washing, you probably ain't even moving at all.
And that's another customer that knows 500 more people that I don't know. So that's two
Yeah.
more potential 5-star Google reviews, plus
Yep.
all the people that they associate with. And it's more time in that neighborhood. It is worth the $25 discount.
Mm-hmm. I got 2 more 5 stars for today, by the way, in
Oh,
case you were
very nice.
wondering.
I
Yes,
was wondering.
I know you was. I
Nice.
might have a third one. I didn't ask her if she had an email, but she's she probably does. I'm pretty sure she does. Anyways, I think I can get 3. Zach, you don't stay away from my area. Whatever. Your signs are everywhere. Everywhere. Can't have a thing. Hey, this is good, BB. That's
Very
it.
nice.
I think that's a good trade. I think that's a good trade.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a good one. It's a
Absolutely.
good one.
Absolutely. Trying to catch
I don't know, Dwayne. I like the idea. I don't know. I guess I'm just not a Starbucks guy, so it doesn't sit well with me. But I get it. I think a lot. I'm probably in the minority on that.
Or are you a Dunkin' guy? What are you?
I make my own coffee.
You're just the guy at Circle K or Marathon getting a cup of Joe
Oh
for
God,
89 cents.
marathon coffee. It's a you know what? You don't have Tim Hortons where you're at.
No,
Hortons is Canadian, but we have it here in Cincinnati. I love Tim Hortons.
Mike is rolling up to the 7-Eleven getting a coffee and some roller dogs. Don't let him lie to you.
I love it. I love it. Hey, listen, I like roller dogs. I like one of my favorite pizzas. Just about any kind of convenience store pizza will settle for me. I'm fine with it. Mike, do you have a website? I do not. I do not have a website. I only have my Google page, and of course, Google did away with all their free websites, so I do not have a website. Ooh, I stopped doing Viennas. Guys, I've yet to tell anybody about this, but I had a health scare back in November, maybe December of last year, and I did away with the Viennas. Since then, I've lost nearly 30 pounds, and I haven't. I'm not touching the Viennas anymore. So that joke's over. That joke is over.
Oh gosh.
4 jobs this year from my website.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Is that
Hmm.
good or is that bad?
I don't know if that's good or not.
Give us hey Mike, let us know. Drop it down. Is that good or bad? I'm not real sure. I have a website and I honestly couldn't tell you how many jobs have come from the website. I've had leads. I have a lead form that comes from my website, uh, but it's also attached to my Facebook. So I don't really know unless they tell me and I ask them. Um, and so I don't really know. Yeah, what's the woman's name, Austin? Quoted a lady. She got one for me. Told her that you'd get her quicker than me. She's in London. I'm in Lexington. Well, what are you doing in London if you're in Lexington? That's a long ways. That is a long
I'm
ways. Are
going to
you
take
from
just a
London?
moment. I'm going to answer this question. Rigor says, "Why not get a website? Crazy not to have one, in my opinion." If I had employees and it was necessary for me to pick up extra work, I could validate that. I could see that being, or justify that, I should say. I could see that being a, but I have yet to pay for advertising, and I'm still, by the grace of God. I think sometimes people they hear this and they it sounds like I'm bragging or whatever. I've just never had to pay for advertising, and I'm extremely grateful and very humbled by the fact that I just get word of mouth, yard signs. Well, I guess that's kind of paying for it. I got another job today because of Jazzy. Jazzy's $3,000 truck wrap has absolutely paid for itself already, and I'm in my first season with it. So I don't know. I've just never had a need for a website.
Yeah. Well, his legs bring it in, so
My
there's no need.
legs. It's been too much of a conversation for me not to show you. Look at that. And you tell me why I don't have. You tell me. You tell me.
I'm just glad to know you got pants on tonight.
Look at this. See that right there? Even got a bruise. Look at that bruise. I don't know where that came from.
Mike's in the Fight Club.
Yeah. My granddaughter probably punched me in the arm or something.
Hey, I have a website, and it's straight up homemade. I did it myself, and it's there for I don't know what reason. I mean, I guess for a reason, but it's not very fancy.
You know what's so interesting, Jeremy, is I get quite a few calls from Google.
Yeah.
I mean, I get leads, I should say, from Google. I got at least one today. I don't know. I've never had a website.
Here you go. Any advice on affordable liability insurance, one that covers plants or not? I use Frank Crum. That's who I use. Is it affordable? Well, yeah, I think it's affordable. Just to share, I think mine's around $93 a month. It's under $100 a month, but it's very affordable when you think about what it would cost you not to have it when you mess something up. And the best insurance for plants is some plant shield, some water, and some Tyvek or tarps if you have tarps. That's the best insurance on the plants.
Jeremy Meyer says progressive commercial is what he goes with.
Yeah.
Illcast Gain says, I am not a fan of ladders. Will I be able to wash some roofs with a 5 GPM or 12 volt from the ground, or should I get a larger pump?
Man, you have a real small
maybe.
house.
Yeah, going to have to be very small.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen, my friend.
Yeah. I don't know that I have maybe cleaned one roof from the ground with a 12 boat. Obviously, I don't get really easy roofs for the most part. I prefer to walk a roof anyways with a fan tip. Mm-hmm. Just my preference. Yes, good ladder, absolutely. Would we be?
Sorry about that. Go right ahead.
No, I was just reading Hammer's question. Be willing to share an average ticket. April, more than 50 jobs completed, less than 100. 50 jobs, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I mean, I don't think that's a horrible average ticket. I mean, I don't know your area and your pricing and, what are you washing? You washing simple houses? Like, are you in and out for $350 in an hour? Or, I guess it depends on your business model. Now, I will say that I don't know what my average ticket is as of this year, but last year it was about 3 times that, roughly. Mm-hmm. So, but I don't do a lot of average size houses, or I've been doing more this year than normal, but it's just different business models. You got to figure out what your business model is and stick to that, because there's no one right way to run your business. It's your business.
Jeremy, have you ever heard of the phrase Olympic scoring?
Olympic scoring?
Yeah, Olympic scoring. So you can use this that phrase Olympic scoring in a myriad of contexts, but it's often used when we're trying to average out an average ticket. When we're trying to average out an average ticket. So Olympic scoring is when you take the bottom 20% of your tickets and the top 20% of your tickets and throw them out and only
Okay.
use between the 21 and the 79 or between 20 and 80%. And
Yeah.
the reason being is because if you're doing literally, if you wash one side of a house for $100, I've done that many times, then that
Yeah.
really skews the number. The neighbor comes over and says, "Hey, can you wash the side of my house?" You're like, "Yeah, $100 bill," and you do it in 10 minutes and you're done. You got to throw those out. So take the bottom 20% of your tickets and the top 20% of your tickets and throw them out. Because like when I washed that for that factory last week, that number cannot be included in my average ticket because it was way up here, you see. So that's one of the better ways of discovering what your true average ticket is.
Yeah.
Olympic scoring.
But okay, I guess that's fair. But I'm saying you're still doing the job. I guess.
I think the problem is I wash this factory every other year, and it's almost
Yeah.
$15,000, and
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done in a two to 3 days. So that's
Yeah.
not quite fair to the average ticket.
It's good for the ego.
Yeah, it's pretty good for YouTube videos.
uh,
It's good for vacation money. Is what it's good for.
ain't that right? I'm just impressed that he's washed 50 houses, and I know you've done way more than 50, Mike. But
No, I'm very very impressed with that.
I'm very impressed that he's done it because, like, I mean, I'm looking at my Marcade at this very moment. I have my number of invoices is 60. I have done 60 invoices. So that's, and you might say, well, that's really not a lot. And it really isn't a lot. But at the same time, I just looked up my average ticket for the year, and I will share that. It is currently at 776.80.
Nice.
So, but you see, I can do less than Rig Wars, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, like, for every 2.25 jobs he does, or 2 and a whatever, that's one for me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Yeah.
So Ilcast Gain says, "Wow, I'd tell them 250 for one wall. Maybe that's why you are booked and I'm not." Well, again, let me run that scenario by you one more time, just in case you missed it. Ilcast Gains. I'm talking about the neighbor comes over, and you don't even have to hook up to their water. If you're telling them $250 and they're saying no, then you just left at least $100 because they would have done it for $100. So here's the question I ask people when they say, "I won't get out of the truck for less than $300 or whatever." You throw out a number. Here's my little scenario. I ask people, if you knew that a $200 bill was 20 minutes away, there was a $20 bill 20 minutes away, and all you had to do was walk slowly around someone's house, would you go get it? Well, you wouldn't go get it if it's a $300 bill somewhere else that's more convenient. That's you're stepping over a dollar to get to a dime. I understand that. But you're saying that you're not booked out, but you won't do it for less than 250. To me, that doesn't make sense. So when I say that I have 5 opportunities a day, I'm not including that $100 one side. That's if someone comes up to me in the neighborhood and says, "Would you wash my house or wash my wash one side?" the HOAs on them. So would you wash one side? Yes, I'll wash that. How's $100 sound?
Yeah.
And I'm done. So I don't know. 250 seems pretty steep, but that's the way you run your business, and I absolutely appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows where that $100 that job may lead you. What might that get you?
Right.
It could lead in. They might own a business. They might own rental property. They might own something else. And you're pretty much doing them a favor while you're right there.
Right.
So.
And you've got a lifelong customer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I like that, Mr. Powerwise said, nice try, IRS agent. I ain't giving you my Olympic numbers. I love that. That's great.
That's funny. That is funny. I've noticed. I'm back and forth, and I've noticed something, and I don't know why this is. I am seeing some of these Facebook comments coming through here, but when I'm looking at it actually on Facebook, there's comments that's not coming through here. So I'm really confused by like what's going on, like with the comment situation. It's I can't wrap my head around it.
Huh.
Sorry.
Interesting.
Having a moment here. So I'm like, are we missing conversation here on this?
Absolutely, Greg. Absolutely, Greg. It's on the screen. I would encourage you to do that. Anytime you can put a yard sign out somewhere, that's money well spent.
Yeah. Money bushes, as old Jason Guyman calls it.
Money bushes. Yes, I've heard him say that.
Bushes. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's see here. Is everyone still staying really busy at the moment, or is it slowing down?
Was that a question, or did you ask that question?
I'm asking that question.
Yeah.
I noticed, I guess in previous years, once summer starts approaching, it seems like there's usually a slight dip for me. It's usually more so July, August area, vacations and schools. I mean, I ain't seeing any signs of slowing down myself, but I'm just wondering about everyone else.
Thank you, Chris. I'm super grateful for your purchase, brother. So yeah, I haven't. I'm very busy as well. Rigor says he is very, very busy, so that's wonderful. I generally stay very busy right up to July. I start hearing crickets, but thankfully, I usually have enough work to get me, 3 jobs a day in July. That's come in before that, and then the phone calls start picking back up. I usually get a little bit nervous, but I schedule my vacations for July.
Well, I'm going on vacation Saturday.
Well, that's what I hear.
And I'm busy, man. I'm busy.
That's because you're whooped, and your wife said you got to take some time off to take her somewhere. She's not going without you.
I need to recharge.
Yeah, you do.
I need to recharge. Yes.
So revisiting our topic is customer conflict. I will say, I'm going to tell you guys, I am not burnt out as far as washing goes, but I am burnt out. That's not even. I'm emotionally burnt out because of some customer conflict lately. It seems like almost every day there's one customer that just has been giving me the business. I wish he were giving me good business, but the bad business. And I'm not used to that, to be perfectly honest with you. So fantastic, Justin French. Good for you, buddy.
Hey, Justin, what'd you do about that truck, man? You fixing that old Dodge, or did you get you a new one? I need to know. I need to know. Tell me. Tell me now. Tell me now. What did you do?
Fantastic, Grand Slam.
I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna go down the. I'm gonna start hanging out with Justin. He's over there washing in Gatlinburg. I need to be over there. That's kind of my. That's my place away from my place. It's no secret that me and my wife want to move to Townsend one day. So we like that area. Not bought nothing yet. Sterling Wash, you hammering down, son. Hammering down.
What does that mean? You've never been on vacation? Huh.
This by choice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's by choice.
Are you not allowed to take a vacation Wild West?
Thank you, Mike. I have been rebuking a spirit of complaint.
You're going to watch the aquarium? What? Come on, man. I'm proud of you, dude. You're killing it. You're crushing it. Now, there's a whole lot of places over there that needs a whole lot of washing. A ton. So hopefully you're in with the end now. Ripley's going to be looking good, baby. I might have to go back and visit the penguins. See your fine work. It's not far. I think I'm like 2 hours. Well, Gatlinburg is just a little bit farther than 2 hours, but I can be in Sevierville in 2 hours. So
One of my goals, maybe a bucket list thing, is, and I'm almost hesitant to say this, but I would kind of like to have. Well, I would like to have a wax fresh in a museum. I think that would be great.
a figure.
A wax figure of the fresh.
I thought you meant the fresh wants to be waxed.
How do you know I don't? How do you know I don't? Okay.
Oh man, maybe
Bucky's
you do.
is overrated. Bucky's is overrated.
Hey, the Bucky's in Sevierville is insane. We're probably about the same distance then, really. I mean,
It's overrated.
I'm an hour and a half from Knoxville on a slow day.
Bluebird. Oh, ask Mike, ever think of expanding and hiring new employees and just focusing on getting clients to keep the employees busy? I think about it every day for about 2.7 seconds. And then I know that my personality and my anxiety level would not allow me to do that. I envy the guys who have employees and still have a life. I don't know. I told Jeremy this recently. Just the thought of sitting in someone's driveway and waiting on them to put their socks on when I've been up for 2 hours and I'm ready to go. I don't think that I would lose it on somebody. I mean, I would just absolutely lose it.
Yeah, was that last week we talked about my employee?
Oh, update us on that if you would please.
I no longer have one. There's your update.
That didn't take long.
Oh God, I'm having a cramp. Got my leg. So here's what happened. Is funny enough, maybe it was from the podcast. I don't know. Could have been, maybe not. I don't know. I got a message Wednesday night, like 12 in the morning, 12:15 in the morning, which is late. And I'm usually up because the playoffs are going on and I'm watching ball. But anyways, it was a long message about thanks for the opportunity. I got offered another job in the school system. I'm going to be a teacher. I think it's a great thing for me to be around kids and this and that. And I'm like, yes, I agree. So short-lived. So now we're back to 0. employees. I would like to have one part-time employee though.
Well, I will tell you that, Squirt is part-time. She worked with me yesterday on a big job, knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was wow. She did all the flat work, and the flat work was the biggest part of the job while I watched the house. And that's the only day that she's worked with me this week. I don't know that she's going to work anymore with me this week, but I have had enough experience just with my daughter working with me that if she ever says, I don't want to work with you ever anymore, and I could understand if she didn't, and that'd be fine if she didn't want to, I would definitely consider hiring a part-time employee just to help me with the big jobs. But that's going to be difficult because, trying to find somebody who is willing to just work impromptu, that's difficult. But I had a couple of jobs today where an employee would have been very, very nice. It would have gotten me home earlier, but it didn't really help me with the projects per se. It just got me home earlier.
It would have been nice. My second job would have been nice to had. I'm washing a 2,800 square foot house, and then there's a 3,000 square foot driveway out there. I mean, a big long driveway. So it would have been nice to have been done in half the time.
Right.
I missed that from last year. Last year was great. And I've got a monster to do Friday, and it's going to be me.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I would like to have someone.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll be doing that on my vacation, is searching for someone.
Well, I noticed that I talked to Joe for a few minutes about it, but Joe's got his daughter Lauren with him, and he's super, super excited about that. It's not even an issue, but one of the things about Michaela is that she's kind of in her own world. We don't really talk a lot when we're in the truck. She puts in her earbuds and we go from one job to the next. And so we have a wonderful, wonderful relationship, but it's not really congruent to working. She gets out of the truck. She knows what to do. She does electrical, property protection. She hooks up the supply hose, and she pulls my hoses for me if we're on a house wash and I really don't need her to wash anything. But I don't know how long that's going to last, and I've encouraged her all along the way to go get a different job. So if she goes to get a different job, I'm perfectly fine by that. Joe's always killing it.
Yeah. I've never known Joe not to kill it.
All right, guys, we have rounded the top of the hour and headed towards the bottom of the hour. It's an hour and a half tonight.
Yeah.
Good to see everyone. I'm going to hit the eject button soon because I got to get up early in the morning.
Same here. I'm on the hunt for some chemical soon.
Let's answer this one from Michael Wright. I've never seen Michael on the podcast, so I wanted to maybe give a word of encouragement here before we pray. He said, would you guys say there's enough business in a small town, North Alabama, probably less than 10,000 people, to keep me busy? I bought my first pressure washer, and I'm about to start branding soon. Well, right off the top of my head, Michael, I would go on Google right there where you live in your living room, and I would type in pressure washing near me, power washing near me, kind of change that up a little bit, and see how many guys are in your area. And then you just make a good educated guess, because while you're not going to wash every house, there's probably only one out of every 10 houses that are ever going to have anybody come by and wash. So do the math and see if you think that you can stay busy. 10,000 people is not a lot of people, but is that like 10,000 and then 15 miles between the next city? You know what I'm saying? Because if you've got congestion like I do, we have 15,000 in my town, but 5 minutes away, there's 41,000 people in the next city. So that's, that it's not apples to apples.
Hey,
right
Michael,
there.
where are you at in North Alabama? You like North Alabama close to Georgia, or like North Alabama, like over in like Tennessee, Nashville, that area? Which side of North Alabama are we talking about? No, that's countywide. 3,000 in my town. All
Okay.
rural. One thing that I know, and I won't say that I know because I don't know a lot about Alabama, but I drive through Alabama right on the Mississippi line. So you're way over there. I go through the other side of North Alabama, like through Chattanooga down in Georgia and that way. They ain't a lot there. Like they ain't no vibrant cities, and it's pretty rural, which is, I mean, that's right up my alley. I thrive in a rural area, I feel like, but you might thrive in it too. But I'd be very open minded to traveling if you want to stay busy and be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. Yeah, actually, Mr. Mitchell, you said it. Be willing to travel. Oh, yeah, he's over in Tennessee. That's right.
I like what Rig War says here. He says if there's a few companies in the area that may show there's a healthy demand.
It's fair.
Fair enough.
It's very fair. Mm.
No competition, he says. See, that can go either way, it can go either way.
But it might be, here it is, it might be so rural that these guys don't have Google business profiles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, because right now, if I typed in concrete or whatever, concrete contractor in Corbin on Google, I'm probably not pulling up hardly anybody that I know that does big concrete jobs and who's really successful. They're probably not on Google because we're just in a rural area. And most of the time here, it's all word of mouth, shaking hands, and networking. And I've implemented that into this business in this area, but I've also implemented Google Business Profile because I know where it's going.
Well, Jeremy, I just typed in pressure washing near me.
Yeah.
I'm in Trenton, Ohio. There are roughly 15,000 residents.
You
Can you
flexing,
see that?
son? You flexing on 283?
Well, I'm just showing you that I'm
Flexing?
number one, and I don't have a website. so
True.
whoever earlier said it sounds crazy not to have a website. Now that being said, if I drive 10 minutes, somebody just said it might get a website. I'm logging off. Okay, Rig Wars. Don't Rig Wars. Wait. Don't sign off yet. I drive 10 minutes and I might not be able to be found. So he's got a good point. But
Oh, it's funny though, because here's the thing to your thing. I'm number one in Corbin. Okay, you pull it up, or if you Google pressure washing Corbin. Now we're small. I come up number one, and I've been doing a lot of business in London, but I don't even come up like top 6 or 8. So I'm not real sure why that is. There's people with no one in Southeast Kentucky has more. No one south of Lexington has more Google reviews than me. So, but yet I don't come up. I come up like 6 in London. I have a ton of reviews from London, ton of work from London. I haven't figured that. I ain't cracked the case on that one yet. But just what you're saying, 10 minutes up the road, I'm not even showing up in the top 3.
Right.
I don't understand it.
And to
I'm calling Gabriel right now.
To further exacerbate that, to blow that up a little bit,
Yeah.
I will get a call from someone 45 minutes away saying I found you on Google.
Yeah. I get people calling me from Harlan.
Like,
You drove by where I'm at. You know Harlan is nowhere near me
right.
whatsoever.
Right.
How did you find me? I had no clue.
So Wesley says, ask the question, Google verified. Now I have not. What's the one Google? We'll have to ask Gabriel about this. But there's the
Google guarantee.
Google guarantee. I've not done the Google guarantee.
No, we're not.
I'm going to read this one and then I'm going to pray. Grand Slam Power Wash says you shouldn't think of others as competition. Think of them as teammates. Plenty of work out there. You're saying a lot in one little post here. And he says, that's how I look at it. I'm going to tackle this. We shouldn't see others as competition. Well, I love that philosophy if that's a comma instead of a period. You shouldn't think of others as competition. Think of them as teammates. I like that better with a comma instead of a period. And the reason I say that is because McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's are all still competition, even though they're all doing the same thing. And there's lots of people to sell burgers to. He said there's plenty of work out there. I love that as a halftime locker room speech, but we say that there's plenty of work out there until there isn't. It always sounds good until there isn't. I agree with you now. There's plenty of work out there until there isn't. And yet, as a whole, I'm going to say a thumbs up on that entire post right there. I look at it the same way as well. I'm just kind of putting some perspective on that. There's plenty of business out there. I like what Jeremy said about 3 weeks ago. You need to find a niche because there's lots of gas stations that need to be washed. There's lots of I know someone in our little group of people who wash and watch on a regular basis who is now only washing driveways and killing it. So, yeah, there's plenty of work out there, but even in more particular, if you find a niche and then stick with it and hit it hard.
Yeah. So I pulled it up, and I know you searched it on Google. Sorry. Okay. I pulled it up under an incognito window. And so, yes, Wesley, you're right. You do come up in the Google guarantee, but it says Zoom.
It's frozen. There you go.
So it comes up for that. But when you're down here in the map pack, I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, it comes up number 1. But I've never paid. I've never paid for Google guarantee. I don't know that I want to. I have never had to. Zach, don't get it. You don't need it, Zach. Don't get Google guarantee. Now they're gonna make me go out and get Google guarantee.
All right, guys, it is time. We've been at this way too long. So good to talk to everybody tonight. I always enjoy it, and never regret spending time with you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the Lord in prayer, and we'll pray, and we're going to defeat the spirit of negativity and criticism and complaint. And we'll do that in the name of Jesus. So let's pray. Father, it is in the lovely name of Jesus that we come to you tonight, being mindful of our blessings that you have blessed us with and have bestowed upon us. All glory be to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for the unspeakable gifts that come into our lives. And you told us in your word, you said, if we, being earthly fathers, know how to give good gifts unto our children, how much more does our Heavenly Father know how to give good gifts unto his children. And truly, every day is a gift. Every customer is a gift. Every phone call is a gift. Every lead is a gift. And pray, Lord, that we would treat it as such, and that we would do all things unto your glory, not our own. And I pray, Lord, even now, Lord, that you would remove this spirit of complaint within our businesses. So many of us, I'm hearing so many others who are saying there's just such a negativity amongst customers. Maybe it's a political climate. We don't really know, but we rebuke that spirit in the name of Jesus. And we ask, Lord, that you would bring us customers who from the onset would be pleased with us, and that we could be pleased with them. And then we pray, Lord, for those customers who have that spirit of complaint, Lord, that you'd bring joy into their lives, that they would not set up earthly idols such as their homes and their fences and their driveways, but that they would treat them as such, that these are gifts that need to be taken care of, not idols that need to be set up. Father, I pray for each one of our washers, in particular those who watch our program regularly. Lord, you'd bless them with lots and lots of washes, that they would look back and say those were blessings. And keep us safe as we wash and as we seek to provide for our families. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. All right, guys. Thank you very, very much.
Brass nipples.
Oh, great.
Hi, guys. Have a good one.
Oh, she's going to get him banned on another channel again.